people know you obviously for your tennis, but as the Woodies, Mark Woodford and Todd Woodbridge. When did you meet Mark?
Well, he's 5-6 years older than me.
Yeah.
So we were coming along, the group I mentioned of Stoltenberg and Fromberg and these group of young Aussie kids, and he was already doing quite well on tour. He'd won a US Open championship with John McEnroe. And so he was the group of Aussie players that were set on tour, and we were chasing them. You know, we were trying to join them.
Yeah.
So I had got to meet and then play against him, and then got an opportunity to say, hey, would you like to try to play? John McEnroe likes to take credit that he was the one that set us up. It's not quite that, but it sounds good. And we started to play. So I was sort of 19, 20. He was about 25, 26, and off we went. And, 10 years we played with each other.
10 years?
10 years together.
And you did so well.
10 years. From the first tournament we won on average every fourth tournament over our careers, 60-odd titles together, our majors, 11 of those. So, yeah, it was an incredible run, and it set up a career for both of us, because it was a specialty that, you made you a household name in Australia at least, and any tennis community around the world also knew who we were, obviously.
As far as doubles goes, are you some of the best pair of doubles that has ever,
I think
been
so.
together?
I think we rate in, the top 3 in the world.
Wow.
Maybe 4. I mean, Aussies have had some brilliant ones. If
Really?
you go back in time,
Yeah.
Frank Sedgman and Ken McGregor, and you've got Newcombe and Roach, and then you've got us being Mark and I, the Woodies, but then you go McEnroe and Fleming. You've got the Bryan brothers, who've just been inducted into the National Tennis Hall of Fame, that came after us. They're the key pairs in the history of tennis over nearly the last 80 years. So
obviously, in any relationship, you have to make sure you're working together well. Yeah. How was that? How was playing together? Who was your coach?
Our coach was is a fellow by the name of Ray Ruffles. So he's who I spoke about. We still keep in touch with Ray. But working with Mark became an understanding of a work colleague who we both had the same goal, both knew what we wanted to do, both had great work ethic, both brought different strengths to the partnership, both had leadership skills, and both had the ability to let the other lead at the right moment, which I think was really important for us. Both had slightly different temperaments. And then I think we both knew that at the right time we needed to get away from each other. So I know early on, Mark still lives in Palm Springs, Mission Hills in California.
Oh, okay.
And when I was moving to the States, he says, once you come here, you can practice, and go, I'm not sure that we need that 24/7.
Yeah.
365 days of the year. And so I moved to Florida, the other side, couldn't be further apart. But that was to give separation so that you could get off and do your own thing and keep that. So when you came back into the competitive zone, you're fresh and ready to go and looking forward to catching up and doing the same thing. So well planned, also well executed. Nothing, I've like the saying, nothing ever happens by accident, and our success was no accident.
Because it would be interesting, you would get to know the person so well, you'd know when they were going to move a certain way, or you would.
Oh, you'd know what shot was coming. Yeah, and for us, the instinct that we had was there was a natural instinct in the art of doubles.
Yeah.
But then we throw in the actual. I could tell where his racket was, where that ball was going, and I could lead and move in that. So you gelled as one. You could flow and communicate. And I think the biggest strength that we had as a combination was that when we weren't playing so well or we were a bit off, we still found a way to win, which was the key to our success. Because early in tournaments, you don't always play your best. You're just getting through. We played our best in semis and finals. That's when we hit our straps, which is an amazing thing to happen. But often you don't get there. I went on to play with Jonas Bjorkman of Sweden after that and had a lot of success, but not the consistency that I had with Mark. We lost matches we should have won or could have won. That never happened with Mark and I. We'd always find a way to get through, to give ourselves the chance in the bigger parts of tournaments, which is upon reflection, really, I look back at that as probably one of the best things of the partnership.
What was the biggest moment for the two of you that you remember?
Gee, we had a lot. We were lucky. Probably, I always say this too. I think it's unfair to just have one when you had that much, because there's different things mean different. Different results mean different things. So winning a first Wimbledon, 1993, was, in my mind, to be able to say in tennis that you're a Wimbledon champion in any event is extraordinary. That means you've hit the pinnacle of it all. So that was once, that was 93, the first time. We won 5 in a row from there, which was a pretty good run. But then also winning gold medal at the Olympics. That is completely different, because that was in Atlanta in 96, and we lost in the final for a silver in 2000, our very last tournament. But in 96, there was this whole feeling of an expectation that we were going to win gold. That already put it on the medal tally, and you can't imagine the pressure of that. I think of Kathy Freeman in 2000 when she was a favourite and everything else she did, and how to get that all out of your head and just go out and do what you need to do. And so that win there for me was so important that we were able to do that. But then also, there's a lot of people that don't follow tennis, but when the Olympics is on, they get caught up in the rush. And we became an absolute household name in those back end of the 90s because of that. And, that was massive. It still holds an incredible value, not monetary value, the Olympic medal, but anywhere you take it, that's what people want to see. And
really?
I've done this great little trip with kids for our Hot Shots program with Tennis Australia, where I walk in, we made a little video, and I go into the hall, and I had a Davis Cup trophy, Olympic medal, and a Wimbledon trophy. And I bring them out, and I then bring the school captains, the sports captains up, and say, I want you to think about what you might be doing in the Olympics, and I'm going to make you an Olympic gold medalist. And you put it on, and those kids erupt, as does everyone out there. And so to be able to give that, I reckon that's incredible. And the medals don't look as flash as they used to, because they're used. They're actually used for a good cause.
Yeah.
So that gives me goosebumps.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
Why did you decide to retire from the doubles partnership?
It's interesting you ask that, because now tennis players are playing longer. I retired at 34.
Yeah.
But I had been on the road since I was 16. Had 2 kids, 2 and 4. I had this theory that if I was away more than 2 weeks, they had to join me, or I had to go home, and it was becoming harder. I also had achieved everything I thought I could. My singles had gone. I'd let that go. And I didn't want to go into mediocrity of just making quarterfinal, semi-final. That's what I call mediocrity. At the time I look back now, it's not that bad. But I also felt that we brought our kids back to Australia. We wanted them to be schooled here, and we needed the support of family around us to, like anyone does, because living in the States, we had nobody. So we'd built a house there and everything, but we upped everything, put it in containers, moved back home. And then that was a point for me where it was like, okay, what do I do? What am I going to do for, call it career take 2? And that wasn't easy, but I had set myself up in a way the last few years of playing that media was an option for me. Commentary was what I did like and was ready to do. And I knew if I came back to Australia, I would get that chance, at least for the Australian Open, and see what would happen from there.
Did Mark want to retire as well? Was it a mutual
Well, he retired
conversation?
4.5 years earlier than me. So he retired at 34 also.
Yes.
So I played 5 more seasons. There was this thing that 34 you were done.
Yeah.
That was it. You couldn't go much. You're too tired. Well, Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, they've all shown that that's not true. But there does come a point when you don't feel like you can improve anymore. You've got nothing left to give, and he was at that point too. So that was. I think if Mark had kept playing, we would have kept winning. Yeah, both of us. But
was it hard when he said that I want to retire now for you? Because you were that bit younger.
Yeah, well, I had to decide what to do.
Yeah,
at that point, I wasn't going to change his mind.
Yeah.
So I then had the option. I was number 1 in the world, and I had the option of choosing whoever you wanted to play with, which was pretty cool. And I went basically to all the key players that I thought would work well, because I mean, like in business, you don't hire someone like you hire someone that can do what you can't, and you do that when you're playing in a doubles partnership so that you blend well. And that was when I went and chose Jonas Bjorkman as a partner, because I hated playing against him. He annoyed me, so I thought I might as well have him on my side of the court.
But is he got Australian citizenship?
Who's that?
Jonas Bjorkman?
No, he's Swedish.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, so you can play with whoever you like
Yes.
in tennis. You don't have to play with an Aussie. It's better if you do. It works nicely. And that set us up back here. But no, you can choose whatever you like. Yeah.
And are you still friends with Mark now?
We don't see each other a lot. We're not as close as we once were. Part of that's got to do with how far away you are. And Mark hasn't come back to Australia all that often.
Yeah.
And one of the key things is I felt like the Woodies, we had done what we did, and that was brilliant, but that wasn't another career of the Woodies. And then I knew I had to recreate something else back here. So that's been more difficult, I think, as the partnership we were one, and then I've gone off in different tangents. So we still see each other a couple of times a year, usually at Wimbledon and usually here, but it's 20 years since it's 25 years since we played. It's a long time, and there's a lot, and life takes you in different channels. And I think that as you get older, you now understand that throughout that journey, there are people and places in your life that have been so important, and then you then move to different ones, and you can't hang on them. You can't go and say, well, it was better back then. You got to keep looking forward to what you can do next, and that's kind of been my philosophy, even with that partnership and our relationship, is that it set us up. We never will not be the Woodies together, but it's not as it was back then, because it can't be, because you've got to move forward.
Yeah, but you don't talk on the phone or anything.
We don't. We talk when we see each other.
Yeah,
but we don't get on the phone much. No.
Yeah. No. How come he didn't go into media?
Well, he did. He is in a way. He's now tangented off into, he's the chair of the Davis Cup competition for the International Tennis Federation.
Yeah.
So he works in similar but different spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.